What's going on, guys? Again, another different video. Gonna keep changing it up, bring value to different types of people. Today is not so much for my players, it's more for my coaches, the trainers out there, those that are, running their own business, whether it's a coaching business or a training business like mine. So I'm gonna make this video focus on the beginning, the very beginning when you're first starting out. Maybe you're an ex-player and you wanna get into the training business. Where do I start? How do I, build a following? How do I make money? What do things cost, et cetera, et cetera. So this video is all gonna be about how to build your training business. And for me, obviously, we know I train footballers or soccer players, depending on where you live, whatever you want to call them. Build training business. I'm gonna try to keep this short. This video easily could be over an hour long. I'm gonna try to make it, 5, 10, 15 minutes. I'm not sure where it's gonna go, but I'm not gonna make it a huge thing when it easily could be. I'm gonna focus on 3 key areas. The first thing, so I'm 32 years old right now. I started my training business. I opened up my own facility when I was 24 years old. So 8 years ago. Okay, again, I started before that, 19, 20, 21, just doing a little bit of stuff while, part-time while I was a current player, at local high schools. But I opened my first facility on my own with my own money at 24. So the main focus for me, thinking back to 8 years ago when I was 24, was the main thing for me wasn't money or anything like that. It was create demand. That was my main focus. And I did that, create demand, 1 or 2 specific ways here. When I first started out, I wasn't chasing the dollar like a lot of people do. When I was 24, I was living with my parents. I didn't have rent, I didn't have a mortgage, so I didn't have too much overhead to handle. I paid for my gym, obviously, but I didn't have too many bills. I didn't have kids, a wife to support, none of that. So I wasn't concerned with trying to get rich quick. I just wanted to make sure my brand grew and I created demand. So how did I create demand? First and foremost, I had a price that was cheaper than the competition. And I had a product that was better than the competition. When I first started out in my first facility, an average session for me was between $50 and $60. A one-on-one session with Ryan Clark was between $50 and $60 on day 1. So, as you know, that wasn't that long ago. People were doing more than that, 75, 80, the random guy would be doing 100, right? Now, for now, that seems like nothing. But back then, 50, 60 bucks was also cheap. So I knew my product was cheaper than everyone else's. And also, very importantly, I had a product that I knew deep down was better than everyone else, at least in my area. So how could you beat me? You can't. My price is cheaper and my product is better than yours. So the guy at the town over, this guy at the local park, I couldn't be competed with at the time because you can't win. I didn't need money, so I was going against other trainers that maybe needed to make their prices high, and they couldn't compete. So I got so busy so quick because they're like, Mom, it's 50 bucks, can we just go? And they're like, yeah, sure. So I started to fill up really quickly. And then when I had the demand, I started to create the whole velvet rope thing. The whole, when you're outside the club and you have the red velvet rope and like, yeah, you can come in, but you guys can't go in the back of the line. Maybe we'll get you in later. I started to do that. Again, not to be a prick or rude. I did that based off who I wanted to work with. So if I had a kid come in that I saw wasn't a good fit for my image or my brand, nothing wrong with the kid, it just didn't fit. I would say, hey, I'm sorry, I can't train this person right now. So most people will be like, dude, that's money. Why are you letting that walk away? And in my opinion, again, I had rent for my gym. My gym was expensive. Sometimes I'd be watching that person walk away and I'm like, damn, I kind of needed that 50 or 60 bucks. But I knew in the long run, losing that 50, 60 bucks might turn into $100, $200, $300, $1,000 later. So I was okay with turning money away in order to reap the benefit later. So let's review here. Create demand. My price was cheap. My product was very good. My sessions were very good. I was 24. People that remember me back then, everything was very raw. I was in a room maybe the 3 times the size of this. It was very raw, but it was very, very intense. I was 24, I was young, I was hungry, I was out of my mind. So when you walked in there, you're like, where the hell am I and what is this? It was different than what anyone else was doing. So the price was cheap, the product was different, and like I said, it was different. That's the key word. I knew, and again, I'm trying to make this clear. Do not get it confused for arrogance versus just telling you the truth. I know for a fact you couldn't get what you were doing with me around the corner anywhere else. That makes me irreplaceable. If I'm irreplaceable, I have all the power. If I'm full one day on a Wednesday and the person's like, Mom, we can't get in. And they're like, whatever, babe. We'll go to Joe in Manalapan, a town over. It's okay. If that's an option, I'm in trouble. If Joe in Manalapan and so in Marlboro and so in Howell, and these are local towns near me, are all options when I'm not available, I'm vulnerable. When the conversation is, oh, we can't get in the RC today, shit. I guess we'll go to Joe. It's going to suck. It's not the same, but I guess it's better than nothing. When that's the conversation, yeah, I still have all the power. So that's what I'm thinking about. How can I kill my session so much that literally if they go anywhere else, they don't feel right. They feel like they didn't have a good week. Their training isn't complete unless they get to me. That's what I want my athletes to feel, especially back then when I was 24 at the time and I had nothing. No one knew who I was. They knew me as a player, but not as a trainer. So that's what I was thinking. How do I create demand? How do I become irreplaceable? And that is the key. If you can have that, you'll be the best. That's the main thing. I don't care if it's soccer, cooking, whatever. If you're a chef and you cook the best food ever, people are going to pay whatever they have to pay to eat that food. They're not going to go around the corner to the local Italian cuisine and eat that, right? If you're the best at whatever you do, people will pay, okay? And again, I also had the cheapest rate, so how could I lose? That was me back then. Create demand. So now people are talking to me and they're like, dude, when's your next appointment? Certain times of the year, this is no lie. My next appointment's about 3 months, my next opening. And they're like, why don't you raise your price? It's kind of obvious if you have that much demand, raise your price. I still didn't. And I have a lot of friends in finance and, suit type jobs like, dude, raise your price, you're an idiot. And I'm like, I'm okay, I'm not chasing the dollar. So I kept it down there, 50, 60 for a year. Then I went to 70. I was at 70 for like 3 years. And someone's like, dude, please just bump it to 100, you're killing us here. So like 4 or 5 years in, I finally went to $100 an hour. So I had all this demand, I just let it build up and build up and build up. We're like, dude, I can't get an appointment, I can't get in. That makes you more attractive. When you're not as reachable and you have that much demand, it makes more people want to get in. I don't care if it's a club or a soccer gym, it's the same thing. So create demand, find buzz, have people leave, have people talk about you. That's the first thing. Now, once you have all that demand, how do you keep growing and how do you keep getting the word out? That's the next thing. So the second thing I knew was marketing. Can't really type right. My left hand, I block you. Apologize. Being a lefty. Marketing. So back then, 2 ways. Again, there's a million different ways to market. I wouldn't waste your time with any of it besides 2. The most important thing for marketing we know is word of mouth. Word of mouth. Again, back then, I'm a little different now. I'm definitely not as crazy. I'm better at my job in different ways. I program better. I'm more efficient. I am a better coach for sure. Back then, I was just a bundle of energy and I was very, very intense. And I had a good touch. That was about it. I had drive and hunger. I didn't have much direction. I was just hungry back then. Marketing. I would try to make my sessions so intense and so fast that literally once the person left my facility, again, my windows were tinted. So when you left my gym, I could see out, but you couldn't see in. So when a parent and a kid would leave, I would watch them get in the car and I wanted to see what they did first. And I swear, more than 75% of the time, when the person walked out the door, if they were with the parent would be on the phone. And I knew the parent was calling someone. The parent was calling someone and going, hey, this guy is out of his mind. You have to come see what this kid has going on down here. It's out of control. I knew what these people were saying on the phone. So I knew when I was crushing my sessions and it was just me and the one person in there, I knew I crushed it. The client knew they crushed it. The parent knew we crushed it, but that's it. That's 3 people. I had to figure out how can those 3 people turn into 30 or 300 or 3,000 or 300,000. So marketing. do such a good job that when people leave, they literally cannot wait to dial someone to talk about it. Hey, Christina loved it. You got to get Jennifer down here ASAP. Whatever. Same thing for guys. Same thing. And that's why I would have parents watch, because kids don't talk. Any kid who leaves the session, whether it was great, bad, or in between, doesn't matter. How'd it go? Good. They're not going to say anything. But the parent, the one who's paying, I love when parents watch. It's free advertising. It's free marketing for me. I'm like, please stay. Please watch. You're the one that's paying. So when they watch it, they're like, oh my God, we need more of this. Let's get the package. Or call so-and-so. Let's do 2. Let's do 4. All this stuff, right? That was key. Just killing it in person, having people leave, and spreading via word of mouth. And obviously the other thing, I got in right in the beginning of, I would say, Instagram business boom. What year was this, man? What is it, 2023? Probably like 2015. Probably around 2015. Again, Instagram was popular way before that, like 2011, 10, 12. But if you remember, what was Instagram back then? It was pictures. People weren't really marketing like video. I don't think they even had videos until around 2013, 14, 15. So that's right when I started. I saw a window there, and I capitalized on social media. I posted every single day. I'm sure I missed some days there, but almost every single day. And that's when, not just the neighboring towns were seeing me, the neighboring states, the neighboring countries were seeing what I was offering. So now that one session that I spent all night writing was not only seen by my one client, it was seen by people all around the globe. And that's when I started to really, really, really get busy, was from the social media. And now we are 8 years later. Do yourself a favor, go back on my page and keep scrolling. Let me know the last day I didn't post. It's consistency. Every day I'm posting. Again, you can miss days. You're probably better off missing days. You don't want to be that strict. My point is you got to be consistent. So word of mouth and social media. If you master those 2 pockets and stay consistent, you will have success and you will continue to create more demand. That is very, very key. And you got to be willing to keep pushing and keep pushing. You're going to have times where maybe your sessions aren't clicking and people aren't talking. You're going to have times where your videos are getting no views or you get really hot, then you fall off. It's about just being consistent. I blew up on social media. I went from like 20,000 followers to like 130 in like 3 months. But then I was at like 130,000 for like 5 years. I didn't gain 1 follower. Most people will be like, this is stupid. I'm going to boycott this platform. I just kept posting. And now recently, in the past like 3 or 4 months, now I'm at 170. Again, I was like this, damn. And then I went back up again. But that's life. You have to just keep putting one foot in front of the other, and eventually you will get some breaks. You got to keep pushing forward. So now the third thing, this is what I kind of got into. How do you just keep this going now? This is when I first started. Create demand, market. Create demand, market, repeat, over and over again, year 1. Now I'm in year 8. What's my focus still? The last one is just grow the brand. I kind of already touched on this. Grow the brand. So what's my brand? So for me, in the beginning, it's RC Performance Training. RC stands for me, Ryan Clark. But I don't want it to really stand for Ryan Clark. I want people to look at RC and just have it, stand for soccer training. So my brand are these 2 letters. How can I get these 2 letters to be recognizable and actually stand for something and grow? And like I said, it's really nothing fancy. It's just continuing to progress, continue to develop and keep demand. So that's the hardest thing. Again, I'll keep relating it to other businesses, whether you own a restaurant or you own a nightclub. I'm from Jersey, so I'm close to New York. I'm close to Atlantic City. I'm not a big partier, but I've been to Atlantic City a bunch. I've gone out a bunch. The clubs there turn over like ridiculously. Meaning, you have like one hot club that everyone wants to go to, and it's the best club for like 2 or 3 years. Now you're like, what happened to them? That's the challenge though. You have a restaurant that opens up, and they're killing it for 3 or 4 years. Then a decade goes by, and they're gone. And obviously on the other side, you have these restaurants, you have these clubs, you have these whatever other business you want to talk about that are there for decades, 20, 30, they're timeless. They just continue to find ways to keep up with the times and just kind of tweak things here or there to stay relevant and not be kind of set in their ways. So that's what I've been doing. I've been sticking with create demand and marketing, but I've been tweaking each thing. So now, again, let's fast forward now. Now my price is finally a much higher than it was back then. But listen, I still have the same damn problem. I'm not going to go into what my rate is. I probably have the highest rate in the state. I'd be very surprised if someone charges more money than I charge. I still have 0 openings. Right now, 0. It's very tough to get in the winter right now, right? So I still have demand, and now I'm starting to get paid 8 years later. I made no money at 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, right? I made money, but every dollar I made, I put back into the business. I invested in my marketing, I invested in my equipment, I invested in different things. I put it back into the business. I wasn't trying to blow up too quick, and that brings me back to grow the brand. I'm like, now I have all these people, maybe I start doing big groups and all these things where you can come and it kind of gets watered down. That was my fear. I thought if I went too big, too fast, I'm still scared of doing this. If I go too big, too fast, all of a sudden, RC's chasing the dollar. RC's just trying to rob us. RC's just trying to grow the bag and not really concerned over the quality. Now I'm being smart. I'm kind of adding little things in now where I have some group sessions, I have some drop-in sessions, but I'm still controlling those to a certain extent where they are still very, very good. I have something for everyone. I have the private that's more pricey. I have the drop-in that's kind of in the middle. I have group sessions where you can get the quality but also have a cheaper rate because it's split it between everyone. So can you grow? Can you add different things to your product and grow that brand? Can you maybe go off-site and stuff like that? But you can't sell out. You can't sell out. I say this all the time. I'm making these numbers up. I'd rather make $100,000 a year and be the man than make $10 million a year and be a scam artist and people think I suck and they think I'm kind of a prick behind their back. Swear to God, I wouldn't be able to sleep. I'd be making money, but I'd be miserable. I'd rather make $75,000 a year, be known as the best, and have a respect, and people think I'm a good person, and I do a really good job day in and day out, than make $750,000 a year and be a cheat. Right, just kind of robbing people. Yeah, come, money. That's not gonna last. That's how you become rich over a 3-year span, and then in 15 years you're gone. Right? It's not gonna last. So start with this. Create demand, get that buzz, market it so more people see what all the great stuff you're actually doing. Don't hide, show it. Right? And then grow the brand little by little, little by little. If you see me on a day-to-day basis, you honestly can't talk to me. And it's not healthy, honestly. I'm just like, every day I'm like rushing. I'm running in, I'm running out, I'm grabbing things. I'm just trying to literally bleed every single day dry. Like I'm sucking every single day dry, getting every single second out of it as I can. Like I'm rushing on a day-to-day basis. But on the long term, so the micro, I'm rushing. But the macro, I'm so patient. I'm chilling. I'm not trying to go anywhere anytime soon. I'm taking my time, adding a person here, adding a person there. I'm not trying to get and blow this thing up and add 30 trainers. Otherwise I would have already done it. So day to day, get this video, get this session, change this program, do that, call this person, get back, write that email, talk to my mentor, have this meeting, invest, blah, blah, blah. That, every day I'm flying. But the big thing, 5 years, 10 years, 3 years, what's next year? Do I add a camp? Do I go do seminars? I'm chilling. I'm patient. I'm not rushing that. I'm growing the brand on my terms, at my pace. This is a marathon. I would love to still be involved with my company when I'm 45, 50, 55. Again, in a different role, not as the head trainer, hell no. In a more of a sit back role where I'm in a chair, doing different things, blah, blah, and I have people that are much more talented than I am that can carry out my vision with the younger players. So that's where I'm at. Again, I can keep rambling and go farther. I just really want to focus on day one in that first year. Just create demand, market, 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 grow the brand. It's really just repeat, 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 and then slowly but surely watch yourself grow. I'm not really concerned. I don't look too far ahead. I just focus on each day. If you do a good job every single day and really take one session at a time and don't try to cut corners and do a good job, eventually you will reap the rewards. Sometimes it takes 1 year, sometimes it takes 3 years. In my case, it took 5, 6, 7 years before I really started to be able to support myself on a higher level, right? But now I'm slowly growing. You gotta be patient. Everyone wants that quick fix. Again, you might post 30 videos and get no views. You gotta figure out how to fix that and don't quit and keep driving and keep building it. And again, especially in New Jersey, dude, soccer is a hotbed. There's trainers everywhere in New Jersey. You gotta find a way to stand out. Be irreplaceable. That's the main thing. If they can replace you, you're in trouble. So whatever you're doing in life, try to bring so much value. That's a key word. I put in big word. Value. If you bring value, anyone will pay you whatever you want. Whatever you want. If you bring someone value, they will pay you. If you have someone that's way ahead of you and they make 40, 50 million a year, which I know people who make that money, and here I am down here making X amount of money, how can I get that person to help me? They're not gonna help me. I have to find a way where I can bring that person value, that mentor value, and then we can have an even trade where he can start giving me something back. And again, you can see I'm starting to ramble. Now I'm getting to where I'm at right now, year 10, year 15. But at the end of the day, value. Day one, bring value to the client and you'll blow up, you'll be busy. So if you are building your training business, hopefully this conversation helped you. Leave me a comment, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys next week.